Welcome back, spies, to the Lucky Die in Kino. Previously, Greff gets in a tight situation, Ivoris gets a message back, Fox asks about Faith, and Harry finds a map. After rescuing Arliss, he offers Adolf the opportunity to help him take over the Assembly, speaks of where the gods are being killed, relics being hunted, and where those with true links to deities are being held. With Arliss and Adolf leaving, the team head to the Alcath Isles to meet up with the leaders of the world to figure out their next move. What will the team tell the council? Will Arliss turn traitor on Adolf? And how did the Discorans get onto Baskin's ship? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die in Kino. So, we are on the boat travelling to Helsif's Island. Neil, you mentioned to me before recording that Ivoris wishes to do something on the boat.
Yes. At some point in the trip, Ivoris is going to meet up with Greff.
Okay.
Sometime.
Oh, great. Then I could do nothing for a while.
Probably during the daytime.
All right. I imagine that, I think as I established at the end of the last episode, that like Greff kind of just gets into it on the working on the boat. So I'm imagining you probably just catch him somewhere in between like things that he's been doing.
Hey, Greff.
Ivoris, hey.
How's everything on the boat for you?
It's amazing. I expected to be super seasick, and I was, but now I'm not, and it's fantastic. But no, I just got over it. Like it was like being sick. Like you just kind of get over it after like 3 days. It's fun. Did you get super seasick? You've been spending most of your time with Baskin, so
I haven't ever been on the boat like this. I like it. Yeah, I had been on boats for a couple of missions, I think.
Yeah, but nothing like this. Like crossing the continent, basically. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, nothing more than shorter travels, I guess.
I imagine like Greff is like getting water out of some kind of like a bucket or something, just to get himself a drink. So what's up? Do you want to help?
Yeah. Are you suggesting that I do
you
work?
did nothing on the boat.
I've been around and I've been visiting and I've been having a good time. But that's about it. Hey, Greff. So when we get there, I'm not gonna do a whole lot of talking. Yantian politics, I don't want to, I think you've got this. So I'm going to kind of,
yeah, if that's what you feel is best.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, I never intended to. We're going to be meeting up with a lot of important people who've, let's just say I haven't said any kind words about them in a long time. One person excluded in that group. So, no, it's fine. It's fine. I was just kind of. Do I need to make a speech or something?
Probably not. We just we just need to know that we have allies and that, you know, other people are in the know about the things that we know, and be that point of communication. You know, we need to know what else is going on to stop this.
I get you. No, it's fine. It's fine. Like if you want to take a step back, it's understandable. But like, don't.
I don't think they would figure out that I'm a Yonti anymore, but it would, you know, it's how I would have intended it before. So I don't see much reason in trying to step into political situations now.
I get you. No, if that's what you're choosing for yourself, then like I'm 100% supportive of that. Like that's what you want to do. But if you're doing that because that's what you think somebody else wants you to do, then I think you should reconsider.
It's kind of just how I had always imagined this going up until now, and I could hide it. And so now I guess I shouldn't be worried, but you know, I wouldn't have been keen to speak the most before. I keep doing the S thing.
I guess it's just a habit. Like
it
even
really
the tongue.
is. It was like the staple of the start of this voice, you know. So
yeah, I'm fine with that. The do we know exactly who's going to be there? Like, is it just
no?
Oh boy.
You know that Baracus is going to be there. You know that the kind of leader of the Orcs is going to be there. You know that there are some Discora representatives going, but you don't know exactly who. I mean, you would have your suspicions, but you don't know exactly who would be there or how many.
Oh, poor Greff. Poor Greff. Why are you doing this to him, Ivoris?
This was the smallest point of this conversation.
Oh,
this was my hello to you, Greff. Oh my god.
I'm just thinking back to Greff's excuse to Adloff. I'm just one man. What do I matter in the scheme of things? I'm not part of this king and queen bullshit. Now he's like, oh shit, well, fuck.
Now he's the ambassador.
Out of me, didn't he?
The kid ambassador.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I did mainly come down here to apologize. The more I explain how I got my, transformations done, the more I realized that I shouldn't have made you help me like I did. I know you probably would have, but I didn't give you much of a choice.
No, I would have always helped you. My only hesitation, my only reservation to help you was if it was a negative to your life quality, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like,
I know. And if I've made a mistake, then I've made a mistake, and that's fine. But I did want to apologize and thank you again. I've been going through my book, and there's quite a bit in here. I mean, there are paths in here that if I studied, I could raise a small handful of undead.
Sadie? What?
I got big spells now, B. We leveled up.
Okay.
Cool. Great. Love it.
I guess it's not exactly resurrection, but it's not great.
My point is that the spells in here are pretty powerful.
Yeah,
I haven't studied that one. Instead, I've been studying something else. Dendar's book?
Yeah, Dindar, right? That's the name of the
Dindar,
god. Yeah. You got that book from Dindar, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a part of our deal, sort of.
Hmm.
This is the magic Dindar's helping me with. I can study bits of it.
That's actually really cool. I wish I could do magic. It's just not in me.
Yeah.
But you've always had like magical, like proclivities. Like you were a paladin of Savras.
Well, yeah. But the auntie are, they usually dabble in that sort of thing. So they are kind of innately magical in a sense, the cult being what it is.
Yeah, true. Like just magic in their blood.
They are all kind of made of magic, yeah.
Oh, like Ivoris, think nothing of it, man. It's you were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Your life had been turned very hard sideways, and you needed help, and that's what a friend does for another friend. And while the favor may not have been small, my friend, it was not a small favor, I still would have done it in a heartbeat, and I'd do it again. And it's no problem. And the day that my life is turned sideways and Mama's just barreling down towards me, I expect you to step in between us and explain to her that I did what I did for good.
Yeah. Well, I've been studying a spell.
Okay.
To stop Mama Greff?
Instead of those other things. I found a way to do the dream thing that I normally do.
The dream? Oh, are you talking about your visions?
The dream thing? Yeah, I've entered your dream before you signed my book.
Yes!
Yeah.
I know this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can do that from a distance now.
Okay. How much distance are we talking about?
Planar distance.
We have the same spell. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Spell
All right, link the spell.
I already did.
Because if it's some weird planar thing, I need to know about it.
No, I already did.
It's like a more expensive sending, or you can just harass people.
So Ivoris pulls out his book and he's like reading from it.
Oh, there's a dream that allows you to harass people, makes note for Dejan.
Yeah. So this would normally be used by Yanti to kind of, if they were going to find someone or, to take them or kill them, they would have one of the followers of Dindar with them to do this sort of thing at them because, you can make their nightmares happen and then they don't get a full night's rest and you can exhaust them before you get there.
Okay.
But you don't have to do the nightmares thing. That's my point. It's worded in such a way that I think I might be able to do this on you to send you into someone's dream. And I think I might be able to get you, a conversation with your family if you wanted that. You did describe them enough that other magic connected, so.
That's very thoughtful of you. A real conversation. That's I have a lot of things to answer for. Been away for a while, but that is, I could go for Annalise. She's always been the more rational. But Cassie's just young. They'd never believe her. Give me a. Let me think about this. I definitely need to just let them know I'm safe. Like, it's obvious, but I'm gonna be very honest. If we do this with my mama, it's gonna be my nightmare, and I don't want anything. So,
You're going to be the one taking psych damage.
Oh, she's going to whoop my ass.
I would 100% give you psychic damage if you tried to contact your mama. That is a fantastical arch.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so you do have to time it. They do have to be asleep.
Okay, yeah. It should be simple enough. They live, like, pretty close to the mountains, so they rise very late. Which side is the mountain? Which side is the sunset? Shit.
They are farmers. They should rise earlier before the sun sets. Sun goes up.
You'll be able to figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. No, if you live in a valley where your like house is up against the west wall of a mountain, you basically have like you get sun way later than everybody else. It's so you move your day around. But alas. All right. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you when I've picked who to send it to, who to contact.
Yeah, there's relatively no risk, and I'll go over a couple things when we get to that time. But yeah.
What do you mean relatively?
I mean, if they do have a nightmare, they'll just lose some sleep and they'll forget about the whole thing.
Right. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. We've been in some.
I mean, you can't. If Dindar comes, though, you have to leave. You can't stay. Things will get a bit much.
All
That's dangerous, but easy to avoid. So you should be fine. If you see Dindar, well, yeah. Just
I'll fuck off.
Yeah, but it shouldn't get to that point unless you really fuck up.
I believe I believe I'm good enough. I won't fuck up.
Mate. Oh, Neil. Neil, why would you do this?
It's fun. I want to hear from Mama Greff.
All right. Okay, cool. Anything else that you want to just throw at me, Neil?
No.
Nah, this is good. Neil has the most like cat amongst the pigeons look ever. Like has all the cream. Neil's just sitting there, smiling and giggling to himself. Fuck you.
I think. Fuck.
All right, Aethel. Is Greff going to do this? Because I would please respectfully ask that y'all do this before you reach the island.
Yes. Greff has to do this. This has been a thing that he's kind of been putting off, and it's kind of been put on his plate now in front of him. He kind of has to deal with it. He could have always gotten somebody to do a sending and paid them extra gold to shut the fuck up about it being to a human, but let's assume that the day kind of goes on without a lot of hiccups, but at some point, Greff kind of just gets back to Ivoris and tells him, like, I'd like to contact my sister Annalise tonight. I'll come find you when it gets dark. And then he just kind of skips off without letting you really answer, unless you chase him down.
Oh, he's fine.
I'm so sorry, Kessie and Arch. I didn't know they'd do this to us.
I'm not. Yeah. So V and Greff comes back to it's nighttime, and everybody's had their meals, and the boat's been rocking for about a good hour or two, like quietly. That's when Greff gets up, like, all right, she should be asleep now. She should be asleep. Unless there's something to this whole, like, sun moves differently in different places bullshit that I've been hearing from people.
time zones and shit.
I don't believe
Almost if the world is a
Daylight saving time?
and not a flat plate.
I don't buy that.
Greff is a flat Earth. No.
No, just Greff doesn't believe in time zones.
Oh, okay, fair.
We live on a map. Like, light is omnipresent.
Also, there's no communication between the continents to verify otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sending? What's that? Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I think the orcs probably have a theory about this idea, but like literally nobody else, because the other two continents are quite narrow. So the orcs who live across the Arcath Isles, like on each end, sending messages like, "Hey, good morning." The other orcs just like, "Motherfucker, it's night. Leave me alone."
One side thinks the other ones are party animals, and the other guys are just like super lazy. Like, what do you mean? Good morning. I've been up for 4 hours milking the cows.
All right, sorry.
Sea cows.
Ah. All right. Yeah, Greff's gonna chase down Ivoris once it's been like a good 2 hours. Yeah, he just kind of knocks on what I assume is the private cabin of Vaskin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ivoris lets you in, and we sit down.
All right.
And Ivoris starts going through things with you, telling you to leave when Dindar comes. If Dindar comes, this and that, you can leave whenever you want.
All right.
You will have as much time as you like, as long as they are asleep. You won't be getting sleep. You'll be just sitting here, so you won't be resting. But they will get their rests, and they'll remember everything, so long as it doesn't, Dindar and all that. So,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Fingers crossed. I'll do my best. So how do we do this?
You just sit down and close your eyes, and Ivoris starts counting, and he goes over, and you feel one hand on your shoulder and the other hand press the palm of his hand into your forehead a little bit, and you feel a sensation like you're being pushed backwards, but you kind of, in another weird way, know that you're not, and you're still sitting up straight. But you get this pushing backwards sensation until you are off into dreamland.
You know that your sister Annalise is asleep, so you're not waiting for her to fall asleep.
All right, fantastic.
I'm assuming y'all are sending Greff in the form of Greff.
Yes.
Greff, he explains that, I forgot this. He explains to Greff beforehand that Greff will have control of like a bubble around himself. He can actually use like a fear ability.
Oh.
Like kind of like Raw, I think. But there's
You
like
can
a
make
fear
yourself
ability.
appear as you like, yeah.
And like a bubble around you, like a small.
Okay.
You can control it completely, like environment, everything.
Greff's just going to go as his
fantastic.
normal self.
All right, cool.
Real self, actually.
When you first arrive in Annalise's dream, she is in... In Annalise's dream, you find yourself in a butcher shop. She's holding a meat cleaver and she's just working away. You can see the animals around her keep shifting and changing, but she seems to not be able to finish, just continually just hacking down, just not getting through it. It's bouncing off. You can see that she's getting more and more frustrated in this dream. This is how you find her.
How long?
She is about 3 years older than you last saw her, which I think when you left. You left 3 years ago?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, roughly how
Let me
long
timeline
would we
this.
assume this?
Let me check the timeline. I think you've only been in Kino 3 years ago. 25 years ago, Greff Peacebleeder is born.
Oh, we're going to the start.
Yeah, I'm going all the way to the butt. 8 years ago is when you abandoned the Dawn, and 10 years ago is when you left to go join Apella.
Yeah.
So she's going to be 10 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see your sister. She has fairly short crops, dark curly hair. She looks like she's bulked out a little bit, and she has very strong arms, but this, of course, could just be dream her. You don't know. She's wearing a butcher's apron, and it's absolutely covered in blood. But she looks like your sister, but 10 years older.
Greff's gonna approach the butcher's table, just kind of put his hands on the table and look around and go, "Not lacking in meat to eat around here, are we?"
Nope. What do you want? What do you want? I have everything. I have deer. I have male deer. I have squirrel. I don't actually know what I have here. Mutton. Thank you. You hear that echoing off in the background. By the way, feel free to add random voice lines. You hear customers angrily off to one side. A door appears as Annalise begins to think about having customers wanting more and more things.
Rabble.
Greff,
Rebob.
Greff does whatever he can to just kind of push back the apparitions of other people in the bubble that he has, just to try to kind of calm it down. No, I think all I'm looking for really is just a easy conversation over maybe like a cold one, or just a cold cup of water. You look like you've been working for a while.
Yeah. This isn't my shop. I'm not a butcher. Wait, where am I a butcher?
What?
Pretty sure I'm not a butcher.
What do you
I'm not
do?
a butcher. What do you do?
Well, I travel the world to kick ass.
She kind of like squints at you like she's trying to figure you out.
You're thinking it, and you're right.
You're an idiot?
Why? A voice floats in through the window. I don't. Why am I dreaming of you, Greff? I haven't thought about you in years.
Ooh, that's cold, Annalise. That's cold.
I think leaving was cold, Greff. You didn't even say goodbye.
No, I couldn't. You know I couldn't. Mom would never have let Lieb go.
Mama would have been right.
Hmm?
What?
Hey.
All right, let's see where this dream takes me. What do you want, brother?
I want to let you guys know that I'm alive. I'm safe, and I'll be coming home soon.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
She kind of like looks up and like she's kind of like shouting out the doors and out the window that the mysterious voices have come through. Great. This is why my brother appears in my dream, because what? He's coming back to us? What a lame thing is that to happen?
No, Annalise, sorry. Like, okay, let me establish a couple of things. I have a bunch of powerful friends. A lot of them are magic users, and one of them is using like dream magic. What are you laughing at?
Right, yeah. Dream magic, yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I could pull the other one. Yeah.
I'm not making stuff up like time magic. It's real dream magic.
All right. You want me to just say what? Hey, Mama, Greff decided to ride by my dreams and go, hey, I'm alive and coming home, and then just ride back out of my dreams. You know what that's going to do? That's going to break her heart. Fuck you.
Why would that break her heart? What do you guys think happened to me? Do you guys think I'm dead?
Why did you call her? You have friends with great magical powers and you decide to call on me?
Well, yeah.
You talk to Mummy yourself, you coward. Yeah, I did it. She kind of like squares up to you. I called you a coward.
You go, girl.
I mean, thank you. I mean, I wouldn't want to bust into Mama Greff's dreams after... I want to bust into Mama's dreams after 10 years of not sending even a message. Nothing.
Okay. I genuinely have not been able to send messages because I've been off in Kino.
See, okay, now you're definitely a dream.
No,
you're definitely
no, it's not real. It's real. There are things.
My brother who goes off to a Pella, dumps us with a bunch of cows, and then just disappears out of nowhere.
Welcome, by the way, for the cows.
Yeah, Mum Greff. Sorry, I hate the fact she's in my brain as Mama Greff. It's so irritating. Mama, don't like cows. Mama, very scared of cows. And you would have known that if you'd stuck around and saw her with 2 cows she didn't want.
She likes goats.
Wait, she's afraid of cows?
Mama likes... Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Why are you scared of butterflies, Greff?
Because they're big and fluttery and they get in your face and sometimes they get inside your coat when you're not wearing it and then you put your coat on and it flutters up the back of your neck and it's awful.
I just did that twice as a joke. There's no need to get all scared about it.
That was you?
Actually, it's my dream. Yeah, it was me. You were small and very irritating that day.
You're a cruel sister. No,
nope, I'm the best sister.
I'm not a dream. I'm not a hallucination. I'm real. I'm Greff. And I've been all over the world. And I've been becoming a real man. Somebody who's going to leave a legacy. And that's not what Mama wanted for me, but that's what I wanted. And I'm sorry if that came out negatively on the rest of you, but I'm coming home soon and I'll help. I'll be there.
Mama just wanted you to be safe.
No,
and having
Mama
you
just
go
wanted another set of hands.
Okay, well, that's not fair.
I know it's that. I know it's
when
not.
Dada left, it was only us. And you were too small to remember, but she was a mess. Big place. 1 woman, 7 kids. Come on. She gave you everything you wanted, and you just left.
I gave her more than I was worth. I'm sorry if she's afraid of cows. That's not my fault.
During this conversation, you find that you're both, like, through dream logic, sitting down, and you can see that there's, like, tea and biscuits, and there's loads of people all around you on, like, other chairs and tables. Like, this is a busy cafe, so you know that you can keep yelling at us in the middle of the dream.
I know I'm not being fair. But you know she wasn't being fair either. Or has that been lost in the last 10 years? Should I not come home?
You better come home.
That's the fucking response I expected. Oh, you scared me, Anna. You scared me.
Mama needs help.
I'm coming soon. And you're about to get another message because I just recently, people are breaking the border treaty. People are coming and crossing, and somebody else is hopefully bringing a little bit of the elves and the dwarves made like a.
You're in Kino.
Yes.
War just got declared because someone went to Kino. Greff.
You fucked up.
I could definitely see like all the things on the table disappeared when she starts
everyone, all the faces in the crowd just turn to look at you.
All the cookies randomly got a crack right through the middle.
Is this Encanto?
Casita!
Is Greff Mirabelle? What's happening right now?
Greff? Don't say you did something that stupid.
Of course I did.
Oh. Don't tell Mama that. She is under enough stress as it is.
To be completely fair about everything, yes, it was stupid. Yes, I only cared about myself when I did it. But on the other hand, it is literally just kings and queens playing politics, and they're using me as an excuse to do shit.
Greff, just don't.
You know it's true.
Apella's been good to us since you've been gone.
She's not a queen.
No, she's an empress. Daisy absolutely adores her.
She's nothing.
Mama was not too happy when she went.
What do you mean? Where did Daisy go?
Oh, Daisy grew up real fast.
As all of you have.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined you 10 years older, so this probably isn't a dream. I mean, that grey right there, she kind of like points. I wouldn't have imagined that one. Or that wrinkle there. Or that scar. That's super unflattering, brother.
Greff did not react to the grey hair thing, but the wrinkle, the scar, like slightly cracks his demeanor, like... I know I don't have any gray.
Damn it.
I check. I have others to check.
Others.
Where did you said Daisy left?
Yeah, Daisy joined Apella.
Doing what?
Daisy's... I don't know how to explain it. I don't know any of us had magic, but Daisy has magic.
What? There's a slight tinge of green to Greff now. Like, what do you mean Daisy has magic?
Daisy has magic.
Like God magic? Or
no.
Or like brain magic?
No, she's like,
or is it magic in her blood?
Floating. No, it's not in her blood. I hope not. I mean, if it was, we'd all be in. She has magic. She does studied hard and yeah.
Brain magic.
No, she's not just smart, Greff. She's not smart by reading a book. She can do magic, like proper magic, like. She can turn things from one thing to another. She can make things appear out of nowhere. She can, on occasion, I've seen her, like, talk with animals, and I've seen her, like, move from one place to the other in the blink of an eye. Daisy's really magical.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. I'm proud of her. Glad for her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where she is. Mama was glad that Daisy didn't send 2 extra cows.
What did she send?
She sent more goats. She
sent I'm
sent,
just
like,
a
4
victim
goats.
of circumstances. None of you knew she was afraid of cows.
No, but we all know that she struggled without you.
I know.
Sorry, that was cheap. That was cheap.
It's fair. It's absolutely fair. I was being very selfish and childish when I left. And I stole a good horse. I know that.
You did. She was pissed. I think she was pissed. I think she was sad that you left, not angry, I guess. But that was a good horse.
It got me very far.
Any one you want to tell me about when I go back to Mama in a couple of days?
There's like a coy smile on Greff's face, and like, no, not a single person I want to tell you about, and nothing for Mom. And nothing for Mom. Fuck, I suck at this. I suck at being my character.
So
it's fun out here. Let's put it like that. I haven't only been trying to become a great warrior. I've also been having fun.
That's lewd.
Okay, you're a very nosy waiter. Get the fuck out of here.
Sorry, would you like more bread?
I think he's had enough. So, any little nephews and nieces to write home to Mama about?
Not as far as I know.
Wait.
Phrasing.
No kittens anywhere, Greff.
You just said that you're leaving a legacy.
Quiet from the peanut gallery. Like, none of you exist.
You suck at controlling dreams.
Mind bullets.
Sandman busts in like, what the fuck is going on here?
I was going to save that if he did this again.
No, I've been just gallivanting around the world, learning things. I've met great people. I've actually met the previous leader of Kino. Kind of lost his status after a coup, but, you know.
No. Wow, you've had a far more exciting life than me.
Don't worry. I'll be coming to slum it up with you guys in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. So I moved to town. I set up my own business.
Do you actually have a butcher shop?
No, I'm a blacksmith. Meat's not my thing. Not really.
Phrasing.
Hey, I didn't need to reveal that, all right?
Oh my god!
All right, you can get the fuck out of here.
Greff is learning just as much.
Just ask Greff like disappears into a mist. Does Mama know?
With that, I, for my own sanity, need to leave this.
Holy
Thank
shit.
you, Neil. Thank you.
Yeah, you come back and you're alone in that room. We give you space. Ivoris and Baskin are sitting outside.
Thank you. Greff gets up and he's like chuckling to himself. He has like a disgusting smile on his face, just like, his mama's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Oh no. Maybe I can not go home straight away.
All right. The next morning, you find land.
Ooh.
You end up traveling around a good portion of this island. You can see that it's covered in lots of different types of trees. You can see that there's like a couple of very tall hills, not mountains, just really big ass hills. You can see that in some places it's sand beaches and some places it's more cliff-like. It's pretty... Most of the leaves here are hitting their like kind of dark reddish color, like they're about to fall off any moment sort of thing. Winter is here. You can feel it in the air. It's very nippy. The wind is quite strong and there is a definite biting chill. You gotta wear those layers or you're gonna freeze. You end up pulling in sort of around the north of the island and you find yourself, there is just basically this set of piers that have been set up, some for slightly bigger boats, some for slightly smaller boats, but your boat in particular basically has to anchor offshore and then send out the smaller boats to be able to, you know, get onto the jetties. You find yourself on an island. You find yourself on the piers proper. And greeting you as you pull your way in, you find that there are a couple of very tall male orcs. You also see there's a very tall female orc, which Greff you would recognise straight away as Helsith. And you also see that there are a couple of younglings that are just like running around, but they're respecting the adults who have taken a bit of a defensive position, kind of at the edge of the dock waiting for you to get off. They're not letting the little ones run forward in case you're pirates or something.
I'd like to imagine that Greff takes on a different demeanor as soon as like the Arcath Isles are really like in view, and he starts acting a little bit like more like, I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but you can like, as soon as you start seeing like how the other like orcs around there act, like Greff seems to be like mimicking them, like he knows their kind of culture, their activities, their ideas. And as soon as Greff sees Helsith, he's going to do some kind of an act of respect.
Usually just like dropping to one knee and head down. That's probably all you really need.
I think
question, are you taking Baskin to shore with you? Are you taking anyone else off the boat with you?
Baskin's welcome to come. I don't know if Baskin has anything to do on the island, or if he...
No, he'll just ask you to like get supplies, and if you're going to be there for a long amount of time, he'll ask that you ask for like permission to come on land, so that they can resupply and get some rest. But yeah, he'll stay on the boat for now.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Less NPCs for me to voice.
So. Yeah, so Greff's just gonna drop to one knee, and he takes out Orkin carved to like pay respect with.
Yeah, forgot you had that.
I never forgot. It's my favorite weapon. I love that weapon.
Helsith strides forward and she kind of says a few words in Orcish. You don't speak Orcish at all, do you?
Nope, just Pigeon Orcish.
Just what?
Pigeon.
Pigeon, it's like
Pigeon English. It's like when you don't really know very well how to say anything in another language, you just like
bits and pieces.
Odd words, you know.
Yeah.
Do anyone else in this team speak Orcish?
No.
Okay, this could be interesting. Does anybody in this team have the ability to communicate?
Oh boy. Let me look at my spells.
I can dual wield my swords.
All right, okay, no, that's not good enough. All right, in this case, what we'll do is that we will have to very well describe how we're going to pull out how we're going to communicate until we meet someone who's able to speak the language, all right?
Yeah.
I can speak Old Discora Common, that's about it.
I can speak Abyssal.
I speak Abyssal, but with a Bun dialect.
What does that sound like?
It uses a lot more like ear language.
Oh, it's satellite communication.
Yes.
Everybody thinks you're being sarcastic, but you're just wiggling the ears to the bunny language.
I'm not doing air quotes. I'm wiggling my ears.
Helsif puts a hand on Greff's shoulder, and she basically, you can see that she's a very massive, very well-built Orcish woman. She puts a hand on Greff's shoulder, and you can see her almost lift Greff to his feet. Get the idea that she's pretty strong, and you also get this very strong magical aura from around her. She doesn't have any runes on her body, nothing like that, or nothing would demote her as being a magic user, but she still has that tingle, that aura around her. It's not very strong, but it is there. And Greff, like, she almost bodily lifts you to your feet, and she kind of like gives you a very quick embrace and then just gestures for all of you to follow, because she picks up fairly quickly that nobody can speak Orcish, and she'll remember that Greff can't speak Orcish.
I didn't learn it in Kino, I'm sorry. I know I said I would, but I lied.
But I'm pretty sure he remembers like a few words or gestures or something.
Yeah, like enough to like, hi, hello, hungry, food, that kind of stuff, the basics of living. She gestures all of you to follow. You see some of these younglings begin to like run around you all, and they just get very, very close. They seem really curious by you. Some of them rush off and they rush back off into the forest to like finish playing their games or whatever it is. Some of them are interested in you, some of them are not. But for the most part, everyone seems kind of friendly. That kind of battle-ready stance that most of them had completely disappeared once Greff kind of stepped off the boat. She leads you through a bit of the forest, and she doesn't give you any indication at all how long this would take. Greff, you'd know this is probably only a 10-15 minute walk. Mm-hmm. The forests here are much like the others, except most of the life here is now dead. It is now that winter barrenness. Most of the leaves have gone from the bushes underneath. Most of the grass has died out, and it's mostly just mostly like bare earth with lots and lots of leaves underfoot. Lots and lots of crackling of twigs as you make your way into the town proper. You see before you a huge array of homes. You also see that there is a well in the very centre that's been very well looked after. You can see that it has been cleaned, and it just seems to be very much the focal point. Lots of people are here and they're talking, and you can see that there's a mixture of orcs, half orcs. There's a couple of humans wandering around, a tiefling or two. And you get this idea that this is a very big, thriving town that you're in. Most people give Helsif respect as she passes. And she kind of like gestures to all of you this kind of fairly big building that has kind of like a thatched roof over the top of it. She points for all of you to go inside, and Greff, you would know this is like the kind of tavern inn equivalent. And she kind of says a few words at you, which you don't really get the gist of, but she makes the hand motion of like, kind of like crab hands? No, that's not what I'm looking for. She
Talking?
makes the hand motion that people are talking. Thank you. I was like, that's where my brain went to.
They're
like,
playing
that's not
sock
what I
puppets
mean.
in there.
I'm not listening to
she
crab
just-
rave. I'm listening to classical music now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she does the hand motion of talking, and she gestures in a different direction to like a building that is fairly well appointed, definitely well looked after. You can tell that this is more of a, and Greff, you would know this is kind of more like a council building that she's like pointing to, but she's gestures for you folks to go to the inn. Very quickly, she just turns on her heel and she walks off to the council.
Greff just kind of points after her like, That's Helsif. She is kind of the leader of her clan, the Blood Smash, and she and her clan kind of taught me how to do the two-handed thing that I do with my swords. Looks like she's trying to find somebody to translate, I assume. She didn't use any words, even though she knows I know the basics, which I think she assumes I've gotten dumber since she met me. And
I mean, maybe because we're back here, she just assumes that. It's kind of a fair thought process.
Hey,
maybe she saw that you took a few blows to the head.
Hey, when I came here last, I was alone. Now I came with a bunch of buddies. That would only... People should assume things are looking up for me. Like...
Yeah, you need help now.
I'm actually genuinely kind of surprised how many of us there are. You guys are awesome. Let's go get a drink.
I don't. Okay.
Greff just starts strutting towards the bar.
As you, I'm assuming the four of you are going. As you enter the kind of inn properly, there are plenty of like reeds on the ground. There's only a couple of tables and chairs around. It's not very busy this time of the day. And there's a bit of a fire off to one side, but it's not properly lit. Like nobody's really tending to it. And you can see that there is like one half orc who's kind of like working and cleaning behind the bar. And they notice that you come in. They recognize Greff. They put two hands in the air of welcome. And they just like, Greff!
Kapla!
No!
You cannot fucking Klingon at me!
That's his name!
Fuck you, Aethel.
Do you want
Greff! 1, 2, beer.
Mm-hmm. To me. And would I know that you don't drink? Cass?
I think I have had like a drink before, just not very much.
All right, then Greff's just gonna make a couple of assumptions here, and he'll learn from his experiences. He goes 2, 1, 1, 1.
2, 3, 4, 5 beer.
Yeah, and Greff
Yes!
says 5 in orc back to him.
What the fuck is happening right now?
I taught him some common. I taught him some Discord common.
Looked like they were waving at each other.
Yeah.
I speak common now. Badly. Badly speak common now.
That's a lot more common than I taught you. Have you been cheating on me?
Huh? Clearly couldn't keep up with that. Pause to 5, 6 beers. This may be my real life sliding in here when people talk to me way too fast. Puts out the 6 beers and joins you. Says,
6?
1 for him. He joins. There's no one else here. And Kapla says, human.
Mm-hmm.
3 human.
Greff looks at his group. 1.
Tauri looks around for more humans.
3 tabaxi.
No.
Oh, wait, what the fuck are you now, you fucker?
This is lizardfolk.
Oh, right, yes, you went lizardfolk. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the New Yorker lizardfolk.
Right. Sorry. That should have been in the recap.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
2 tabaxi lizardfolk. But I made that word.
No. Tabaxi lizard.
Yeah, it's
lizard.
I
folk.
I don't
tabaxi.
know. I don't know what they're really called in Discord comment. Like I just call them lizard folks.
Tabaxi lizard folk. Tabaxi. But 3 human here.
Wait, where? Wait. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, 3 human here.
Why? What? Where?
He says something to you in Orcish, but all you really pick up is leader. Like, he's trying to explain this concept to you.
Okay, the leader of...
But he can't really get it out.
All right. Well,
Human Helsif.
No, Helsif's orc.
No,
I think they mean like the same
human leader
status. Yes, as Helsif has.
Yes,
but
human.
But there are no human leaders
like
except
Helsif.
like Empress Apella. Like She can't be
Pella,
here.
yes.
No.
Helsif and a Pella human like Helsif.
Oh no.
They talk much.
Okay, that's
in building.
Greff like shoots Ivoris the biggest dirty look in his life. Like, you fucker.
That's good. We have an audience.
Okay. I expected the elves and the dwarves, not the human. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
elf, dwarf, Helsif.
Wait, they're all here?
That was in the recap.
no, elf, Kapla, Helsif, elf like Helsif, but man, yes, and dwarf lady like Helsif, and human lady Apella, and human with Grumsh, and human magic.
Okay.
She has lots of magic.
Okay, so we've got 3 humans, a dwarf, and an elf, and it sounds like they're all leaders. They're
Zarissa, Tabaxi, like no.
Oh shit!
Tori's ears
Tiefling.
Perk up.
Yeah, Tiefling, like Zarissa, from Kino.
Yeah, we know Zarissa. Zarissa was pretty badass.
She took care of my kids.
Yes, Barn. She makes the gesture of like something small.
My kids, yes.
Sorry, he makes the gesture of something small.
Kittens.
Yes, kits with Zarissa, and Zarissa's kits.
Are they
Zarissa's small tiefling.
Greff does like binocular, like points to his eyes, like where?
By Dagger Forest, south. You remember Dagger Forest?
I'm assuming Greff does, so Greff's gonna nod.
Oh yeah.
Is that far from here?
It's about 3 or 4 minutes. It's like at the edge of the village.
It's just by. Come on. Greff like chucks whatever was like left of the first glass.
It's 2 beers.
No, just the first one. Takes a good sip for the second one. Like, come on, let's go find your kids, man.
Yes.
Kapla, I'm catching up later. Me, Orcus, Tala, Setna. Yes.
Greff, what the fuck just came out of your mouth?
It's just a little Orcus. Don't worry about it. I learned a couple
I'm worried about it.
What are you worried about my Orcus for?
Because
it's
you're
awful.
you. That's my point.
What?
Yeah, like Greff, you can and if the rest of you wish to go, I'm definitely 100% Towery will be there. You make your way like very quickly past the well, very quickly past some of the smaller houses, to the kind of the edge of town itself, and you find yourself surrounded by these trees that have very like long pointed like leaves on them, and they are kind of turning red, and some of them have begun to fall, and you can definitely feel them cracking and snapping under your footstep. They're like very fragile but very hard. As you kind of like make your way there, you immediately hear lots and lots of like running in your direction, and you hear lots of like whoops and hollers and laughs, and you immediately become aware, like a few feet like kind of further down the pathway, you just see these 2 kind of you guys have seen, I'm safe, the rest of you have seen them before. You see like the 2 kits just like bound onto the pathway, followed by these 2 slightly taller yellow tiefling. And they all just seem to be bounding at you at massive speed as you see Zarissa just like kind of like the sweat pouring out of her brow, but there's a big smile on her face. She's trying to keep up with them as they've just gone wild. Like that's it, they've gone.
The other kids ran into the forest earlier and informed them.
Yeah, basically. If you weren't going to get ambushed here, it was going to be in the pub. You see these 2 kits just run full pelt, and they kind of jump straight on top of you, Towery. And the weight almost doubles as these 2 younger tiefling just basically jump straight on top of you as well. And they just kind of give you this really big hug, and they're like You can feel the youngest two like beginning to like laugh and cry, and the older two are just like, in Kino, they're basically like saying hello and wishing you well, and like mama of kits, like they calling you that, and you've kind of been overwhelmed. Can I get you to make a strength roll, please?
How many kids are there right now?
There are 4. There are 4 that just bounded onto you.
Wait, a strength check?
Yes, please.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, you basically, as your 2 kits like jump on you, they've definitely grown in weight. They've definitely bulked out a little bit. You can tell they're a lot stronger than they used to be. They've clearly been running wild. But then the 2 tieflings jump on top of you as well, and it just bowls you backwards completely.
Yeah, Leok. How are you two? Has Sarissa taken good care of you? How are you? Mm-hmm. Oh my, Sarissa, there are so many kids here. Where did all of this come from?
Sarissa reaches down and she kind of like half lifts up her brother and sister off of you. She's like, no, you'll have to give them a little bit of space. Like, I know you're excited to meet her. Tari, as she reaches down and she kind of like pulls you to your feet as the little ones are just holding on to you, and they're talking very, very quickly. And she says, okay, this is I will pull up the Patreon names.
While this is happening, Tori is just swooping up her kids and nuzzling them. While she's waiting for Sarissa to make her move. To finish her sentence.
Let me pull up both their names, otherwise I'm gonna fuck it up.
I'm sorry for naming the barkeeper Kapla.
No, you're not. As you're nuzzling them, they very much smell like the forest. They smell a lot like dirt, and they also have that. I don't know if you know what I'm chatting about, but the smell of hot metal. Like there's just that tank. Yeah, they also smell like that. They've clearly been busy, and they've just been out and about doing stuff.
Foraging.
Foraging
fate.
That's the second series of no.
Oh my god!
So Sarissa says, this one here is my little sister Kaylin, and this is my little brother Nota.
Hello. And Tori sets her kids down and reaches a hand to first the sister, I guess.
They look at your hand really strangely, and they just put their arms out to hug you. It's like they are much like Liel and Leok. They are very wild.
Tori leans into the hug and like pats her on the back, and I guess as they part, the little brother, not the brother, what was it? The son.
Yeah, the brother. They're her siblings. She doesn't have many children, as far as you know.
Is probably also like open arms, like waiting.
Yeah, Nuta doesn't even really give you much of a chance. It's straight in there for a big hug. And they again, they don't have that hot metal smell, but they've definitely been out and about in the wilds. Yeah, and your 2 kits look up at you, and Leok says, "So, are you staying there, Mama? Or are you being a big, strong adventurer still?"
Of course I am. But I will be staying here for a while for now, until the business here is done, I suppose.
Okay. That's good. Mama, we have to show you what we made. It's really cool. It's like a house, but it's in a tree.
So, like the kids did in our village, the older kids, back when you wanted to have a house like that too.
And you said it was too tall for us, and like Liel like leans in, is like, Sarissa said that we shouldn't make it, but we are being naughty, and Nuta said that we should do it anyway, and that Nuta would take the blame if we fell out and hurt ourselves. Don't yell at Sarissa. She's been really good, but Sarissa's been really good, and you can see your kid just kind of standing up and being like really loud, like, and she's brushed our hair every day. Brushed our fur every day, and told us we had to go to bed. We've always gone to bed when we've been told. Clearly lying.
You've been really good kids.
They have climbing claws. They're so safe in the tree. They have climbing claws. There's a backseat.
Tori says to them, you are definitely, you have grown a lot since you left the village. I'm sure it will be safe for you to climb around in the tree. And then she gets up and finally turns to Sarissa, who's probably been standing a little bit off. And she finally
Sarissa's been trying to hold back her siblings, who just seem to want to begin playing with your kits again. The newness of you turning up and they've been excited. Now they just want to go play in the forest again.
She definitely turns to Sarissa and realizing that she's already given the siblings hugs. She might as well give Sarissa a hug because Sarissa definitely has done the most for the kids here. And
you
she
can
goes
see the sweat pouring off her brow.
The what? The sweat.
You can see the sweat. Yeah.
And she gives Sarissa a very hearty hug. Thank you for taking care of my kids for me in the meantime.
You are most welcome. They are. I guess once you have 2 handfuls of Kalanute here, that's fine. I have a tail. I can keep at least one of them under control.
I think this has done them some good. I mean, in our village, they would definitely get to that age where they would start to get independent, and a little time away from their mom probably did them some good, so...
I think so, too. I mean, Kaylin and Nut, ever since they came to the island, they seem to be a lot... I don't know, happier. It's the island is pretty safe. There are a couple of predators out there, but the people who live here, they don't exactly tame them, but they do learn to get on with them. So
after seeing that very large, I think they're called orcs, that very large woman that greeted us at the beach, I do believe that the kids here seem to be very safe.
Yes.
All the people here are very tall and very strong.
Yes, they are very strong. And I've learned a lot since being here with them. If what you're the kids at this point have gotten bored and they're just kind of playing around. They're nearby. They're testing the limits of how far they can get away from you already.
Greff is absolutely encouraging, let's go, come on, let's go. Fuck off.
You can see Greff edging them on and go with them too.
They drag Greff to the climbing to the treehouse.
I don't think it's big enough. Well, we can make it big enough for him. Yeah, that'll be a challenge. And yeah, they rush off into the forest with you. All 4 of them.
Do they need somebody watching them?
And Greff goes in.
I don't think my kids need someone to watch them, but I think Greff needs the eyes on him.
Yeah, the children have kind of gotten used to it here. Maybe. You might find this interesting too. There's plenty of unique species here that you may be interested in. Plants and mushrooms that grow on the ground.
I suddenly find myself in a position of which I need to use the restroom. Way over there. Carry on with your conversation and I shall be back momentarily.
Greff is taking from a friend somewhere. Join us, Cass. We're having fun.
Is this our beach episode?
It's not Kaz right now, motherfucker. It's Vox.
Put that on your fucking Discord name. I can't remember.
Watch your fucking language. There's children around here.
These kids have fouler mouth than I could ever dream of having.
You take that back, I'll kick your ass.
As they go bickering off into the forest, Zarissa kind of walks next to you and she kind of puts her arm through yours and kind of begins to walk you around a bit of the village. And she says, if what you're saying is true and you are probably going to be leaving again, it would be safe to leave them here. They would be fine. I'm going to have to leave too soon.
Oh, so you are leaving? You're not staying here?
I can't. I can't explain everything about what is going on and what I am doing, but there are some of us that have to do fairly important things, and I'm going to have to go do them soon. One of the people I'm working with, she is here, and we are talking about the things we can do to help.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point soon, I'm going to have to probably leave. I'm heading to a place called the Humming Forest. There is something there in the passages below the earth dark, that there are some things I will have to go do there. Hopefully.
I've only heard tales of the Earthdark so far. I don't think I've ever been there, but it sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I've been there before,
going...
so I'm gone.
Is this still the dream?
From somewhere behind a tree, it's not that bad. I used to live there.
If I had to suffer the peanut gallery, so do you.
Kaz is in the background eating peanuts. What?
What?
I don't know.
I found these on the ground.
Were you intending to leave the kids here?
I'm going to leave Cal and I'm going to leave Nota here. Yes.
Oh, you were
Elsa
going
found-
to. You were going to leave the kids with your siblings then?
Yes. They are
Okay.
deceptively. They are a little bit older and they can be smart, but Helsif and her people, they have taken to them very well.
Okay.
They will not let any harm become of them. They seem to have accidentally become, what is the word I learned from the lady? A crash. They seem to be very good at looking after the children of people who are important.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure yet where my path will lead me. I don't have any big agendas except that I need to get a little bit stronger to fulfill a mission for my little friend. And she looks at her shadow.
Yeah, Ortrop is just happily pounding behind you. You keep seeing Ortrop like turn the head and like the ears turn with them, looking at like pointing in the direction of where the kids are running around nuts. But yeah, he's still with.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you came. It is good to see you again.
I'm very glad to be here and be able to see my kids. It has been a while. I mean, I've been first. I went looking for them for I think 16 days. They were while they were missing, or longer. I don't remember. And it has been a while since. Just a few days, hasn't it? 5 days, something like that.
It has been a while. I believe you've been I believe you've been traveling by boat for a fair few days.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's true.
In context, it's day 80. Like that's how far we have been since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably wrote it down somewhere, but I don't know where.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I haven't been away from the kids for so long, but it is nice to see them so happy and a little bit independent. I mean, they need to find their own footing eventually anyway, so...
They do.
Yes.
And they are fantastic children. They have missed you greatly. I know they just ran off into the forest, but my two are just incorrigible. I think they are both good and bad influences on each other.
They're definitely influences. Whether that be good or bad remains to be seen.
Yes. So what about you?
I'm not entirely sure yet where my path will lead me. I think I will wait until we. I think we're here to see what the leaders are doing here, like what the. Sorry if my phrasing is fucked up here. I don't know how to paraphrase what we're doing.
It is no worry. A lot of important people are in that building.
Yes.
There is a tiefling, Baracus, that you apparently helped save. They are doing better, but I don't think they're ever going to be able to speak again.
That does not sound good.
No, but he has a fine mind and a quick pen. He writes very well.
Well, if all else fails, we had someone in our village that could not speak very well, and they communicated mostly with signs and gestures. And if he cannot find his words anymore, then maybe that would be a path he could pick up on that might help him communicate universally with the orcs.
Yes, Helsif, if I understand, isn't particularly good at languages. She doesn't have a head for it. No. It just made things a little difficult, but she seems nice enough.
At
Also
least she seems reasonable.
Strong. Yes, she is pretty reasonable, and she's accepted people from all over the place, especially since the gods started dying. Seems to have really stepped up.
Yeah. This also seems like a very nice retreat, I guess, for people in places that are currently ravaged by battles and
Yes.
war. Of which there seems to be no shortage at the moment.
No, from the general news that has been brought back from Discorda, it is just as bloody and awful over there too.
Oh no.
They are in there right now talking about what it is they're going to do with the future, how they're going to fight this thing, but I already know my path. I can't help with the future very much.
Okay. As I say, I don't know exactly where my future will lead me right now. I'm just hoping to find a path, I suppose, while we are here.
Well, whatever it may be, your kids are safe here, and I don't think that my brother and sister would let them go too far without them. You may have accidentally gained 2 more.
Oh, no. Well, if you have had more than one, what are 2 more?
All right. It is getting dark, and as it begins to get dark, and Zarissa and Atari are talking about like their future options and generally life around the village and how it's a safe enough place. Ratting on the children, telling you the naughty things they've been up to and also the cool and good things they've been up to. Greff, you find a tree house that looks like a hurricane has picked up a load of branches and leaves and some resin, just stuck it together, and you don't know how, but this thing is a properly functioning treehouse. There are little windows. There's a little platform that you can pull yourself up on. It is baller. It's a little too small for you. But you can, like, knees up by your, like, elbow, by your ears. You can probably just about get in there.
I think Greff's not going to risk their cool-ass treehouse with his big dumb ass. So... He's probably just gonna like play war with the kids, like throw pine cones at them.
What's more comfortable, their treehouse or my 3x3 box?
I refuse to answer this question on the grounds that you may put me in the box again.
It's the Greff garage.
Off cam, we discussed the idea that the Ivoris's boxes are shaped by tiny little coffins.
Oh god,
that was funny as fuck. It begins to get pretty late, and the sun is beginning to set, and the kind of like that golden hour, that perfect hour for photography, where you kind of get that nice warm glow and really stark shadows, that is definitely beginning to hit, and it's beginning to get like quite cold now. And for most of you, especially those of you who hang out in the forest, you eventually hear like kids running around shouting, like, you know, at least Greff would recognize the phrase for dinner time. You get your asses pulled back to town.
Mm-hmm. You look at all these cool mushrooms I found.
Kapla smiles as you kind of like bring all these mushrooms out of the forest.
Only half of these are poisonous. The other half, totally fine.
Kapla like points at the non-poisonous ones and is like,
food.
Hot water. Food water.
Stew.
Yes, stew. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mushroom stew.
I got you.
I got you, fam.
Vox just starts going to work trying to make food.
Yeah, Kapla like pulls you into the kitchen, and like they seem very proficient with, like, you know, despite how big and bulky they are, they're very delicate and fine with all the instruments in the kitchen. And between you two, you can make solidly great mushroom stew.
I'm gonna say this, Arch, you are fucking up their basic ideas of what lizardfolk are, who are 100% carnivorous. You're there making mushroom stew for them.
When future lizard folk come through, there'll be mushroom stew everywhere, and they're like, "Oh, I want this. What the fuck is this? Where is my meat?"
If you would like to break it to them that I'm amorphous being from the Underdark, go ahead. I am not revealing that to them until they're...
No, Greff is just laughing at the future, like the orcs trying to be really like polite to the next lizard folk, making them their customary stew. The lizard folk begrudgingly trying to be respectful towards the orcs eating their stupid stew.
I don't think lizard folk are very common up there because it's very cold.
I know, that's why it's even funnier.
It is strange. They are lizard-like, but cold weather is fine. Anyway, sorry. You managed to make a fantastic mushroom stew with Kapla's assistance, who seems to know his way very, very easily around the kitchen. You find yourselves at the inn. You find yourselves eating this really good mushroom stew. The kids are kind of like at their own table. There's definitely like a kid's table and an adult's table. Like they're just like tucking in and like banging their fist on the table, and occasionally Ivoris would be like, "Wait, stop it!" And they calm down occasionally. This is where you find yourselves in the evening. Is there anything you'll want to do?
I'll contact Baskin at some point early on in the night and let him know that it's safe to come over, and yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, 100%. They, the blood smashers are just like, yeah, fuck it, more the merrier. Tell them that, whoever wants to come to the island is more than welcome to. They'll be a little cramped. They may not have enough rooms for everyone or beds for everyone, but they're welcome to sleep on the floor of the inn, which is already slightly full. They're welcome to go back home onto the boat should they wish. Like, they will make room if they need to, but it is getting a little cramped on the island.
Between the town and the boat.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yep. They're like... absolutely fine with that. You find that there are a couple of the tieflings are very easy to communicate with, and they do like translations best they can between you and the rest of the clan. You can also tell that some of these humans and tieflings, there are very few of them that are on this island, they have similar markings that Greff has around his eye. They've gone through similar things. Anything anyone else wants to do?
I think Tori is just hanging up around the children's table because she's hanging out with her kids. And they're probably teaching her some words in Orcish because they've been here so long they already know a few words.
Yeah, they seem to be better at the Orcish than Greff is. They seem to have a natural talent for picking up. Also, they're quite young. It's a lot easier to pick that up.
My kids are growing up bilingual.
Oh, I pity them.
Oh no, they're gonna be able to like have a secret language the mom doesn't understand. It's Orcish.
They're twins. They already have a secret language between them.
They can look at each other.
Naturally, what happens?
Yep. They look at each other and they know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I will do one thing.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick thing or not do a quick thing, but at some point, Ivoris is going to check. To see if he's going to do a future vision to see if at any point on the island, like, there's going to be a threat. He just wants to threat check the future island stuff. Because, I mean, let's be real, all my eggs are in one basket here. Everyone that I give any fucks about in the whole world are all on this dumb little island, ready to be fucked with.
What about Adlerlof?
Smote from existence. Yeah, Adlerlof isn't here. She's off
true.
doing Adlerlof stuff wherever Adlerlof is with this slightly question mark loyal Arlis.
What about the butlers that are taking care of your house?
That's true. They're nice.
Yeah, but that's because you pay them to be nice.
What about a Zed? Yeah, and what's the other one? The one Jankisso. What about Jankisso, mate?
Oh yes, Jankisso. Please check on all of them.
All right, yeah, you can do a futures check on the island. It's a little bit vague what you're asking for. There's no specifics, but it's going to be quite a tough check. That's actually just what I'm going to tell you. It's going to be tough. Go right ahead.
15.
You don't really see it. Your ability to look into the future is becoming more and more difficult as you believe the power is kind of fading. You do hear the sound of sword striking shield and sword striking sword. You hear the sounds of shouts and yells, but they tend to be victorious. And the few words that you have heard Helsif talking, it sounds like her voice and she's rallying people forward. There is something that might affect them You're not exactly sure whether it's in the next week or the next month, but it's somewhere.
Okay.
Like that. But you get that innate feeling that Helsif ain't going to put up with this shit. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I get a little bit of comfort and then a little bit of not comfort from that. So I'll take that as what it is and probably actually be quiet about it.
Okay. Anyone for anything else before I talk with you plot, or you can go look for plot? This is entirely your choice.
I think before going to sleep for the night, Vox/Kaz will tinker around with the new dream spell that they also have, just to check in with Adnilov if Adnilov is sleeping. The spell lasts for 8 hours, and I can wait until she goes to sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to say wait until she goes. You get the feeling that she's definitely not asleep. Like, she's full of caffeine or energy or whatever the fuck it is. She's definitely not asleep. But you can definitely talk to her, like, later in the evening. You'll know when she falls asleep. So I'll let you know roughly when that... It will be roughly midnight, so plan your time accordingly.
It's fine as long as I have enough time for me to sleep after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll be fair. Like, yes, you can at least have until 8:01.
Okay.
And then you have to hit the snooze button.
Deal.
That's fine. Yep, you can definitely do that later. Greff, are you looking for plot or are you waiting for plot to happen?
I'm gonna be polite and wait for the plot to happen, but I feel like Greff would go looking for it, so I'm not gonna force your hand. You have an idea of what's going to happen, so let's just let it happen.
Hey, you'll ambush me with 45 minutes of let's go speak to Mama Greff.
Mama Greff. Mama Greff.
All right, Ivoris, I think I need to talk to Mama. Annalise was
Oh, God, no.
Anytime.
That voice is so hard for me to do.
I know.
This to me.
Please.
It's almost as difficult as having to have done the New Jersey accent for Valentina Thunderheart.
We
like that
demand
broke
it.
me.
No, I guess like once Greff gets his mushroom stew, eats it, and starts like feeling content with the day, he starts getting like a what's it called? Like itchy skin. He's just like, wasn't something really big and important supposed to happen today? Isn't like a lot of important people here, and I've just been fucking around in tree houses all day? How did I get away with this?
Yep. You arrive some point early afternoon and you realise you spent the whole day playing war with kittens.
I ever started out the day with, hey, I'm going to trust you with this one.
Halfway through the day, Ivoris, did you see that? I nailed that kid in the eye with that pine cone.
Good job, Greff.
Don't worry.
I'm okay, don't worry about it, Mama. It bounced off. I have lost a fair. It's fine. I'm joking. That's not going to happen. No. So yeah, are you gonna hunt for plot or?
Unless you're gonna say that plot doesn't happen soon after dinner, then Greff's gonna go hunting for it.
It definitely doesn't happen soon after dinner.
Oh,
like say 8:00. Nothing's really happened. Most of the villagers have like gathered up. They're eating and drinking in their own homes. You hear the sounds of song, and then that kind of peters out again. It would then be 9. It would then be 10, and still nothing.
Yeah, that Greff like, I'm gonna go check in on Helsif and the others. Like, we have a lot of important information to convey, and I would be real. It would be real bad if they just didn't talk to us because they didn't know we had important things to say. So yeah, I'll be right back, I guess. And Greff's gonna get up and just start walking towards the important cabin, the sock puppet cabin, as it was named earlier.
Ivoris will. You're talking to Ivoris, right?
He's talking to the table.
Everyone at the table.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, Ivoris will depart. If Baskin's there, tell him I'll be right back or whatever, and then I'll follow you.
Baskin is like overseeing like the setup of the camp on the down by the docks. Like they're just making sure everyone is set up and okay.
Yeah.
Kaz, Vox, Tauri, are you going with Greff and Ivoris, or are you just letting them be to get in trouble?
I think Tori would still be too engrossed with hanging out with her kids that she didn't even hear that Greff was saying anything.
Perfect. That's actually almost exactly what I wanted.
I have nothing better to do, so sure.
Come on.
All right.
Where we going?
We're going to the talkie cabin.
Oh shit! I like
feel
talking. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's why I call it walks.
It's in my name. Unironically.
As you leave the. Has the weather
Tavern?
happened yet? Yeah, tavern. I'm just checking to see if the other god has kicked the bucket yet. No. When one of the gods dies, it messes with the weather, and I couldn't remember if that had happened yet or if that is happening in the future. It's in the future. It's a future problem. Don't worry about it. As you leave the inn/tavern, it's beginning to snow. You can feel like the specks of snow beginning to settle. It's not going to settle. It's a little bit too wet and a little bit too warm still, but it is still snowing. As you make your way out there, you can still see that there is plenty of light coming from the kind of council building, shall we say. It's kind of like a kind of biggish long house, but like pretty big. And you can see that it has like been roughly put together rocks and stones. But it looks fairly sturdy, as if it's going to rock and stone, as if it could like weather basically anything. You arrive. There is no one standing guard outside. Why would they? This feels like a pretty nice, fine thing. People know not to disturb council when it's in session. You arrive there. Are you just going to kick down the door Sparta style? Or are you going to politely knock? Just open the door?
Well, the polite thing is to stand real close to the door while not putting your ear to the door and listen if people are in meetings.
That sounds like a good way to get yourself killed.
Oh, that sounds like you need to roll a perception check, my friend.
No, not Greff and perception checks. They're not the awful list. Oop. Oh, it's a 24.
Okay. You hear... Oh, damn. You hear multiple people talking in multiple languages.
Yeah.
They seem to be, at least the few languages that you know, they're responding to each other as if they all understand each other, as if it's just like a fairly easy thing. You also have a huge sense of magic on the other side of the door, as if people with untold amount of power is on the other side, and you can feel it radiating through the door. There is a lot of people talking here. Some voices and some accents you would recognize. You would recognize Apella straight away. You would recognize like the dwarvish brogue from the occasional times she's been spoken to. You would hear Rowena's name mentioned. You would also hear, oh my god, is it Red Knight?
Red Knight was Admirov's bodyguard person.
Yep. Baracus's bodyguard. So you also hear Red Knight talking. You hear the faintest scratching of like pen on a scrap of paper, and somebody then reading immediately aloud after that. You hear a human woman that you don't recognize, but she is talking Orcish with a kind of very deep growly voice. You hear a lot of people talking on the other side of this door. Would you get a 24?
Yeah.
All right, you don't get enough to get the important one.
Okay. I have a gut feeling I know who the important one is.
It's Station.
Really? Yeah, you hear this like half-elven man speaking. Well, yes, of course, if you want to die immediately. But this is parlay after all.
The building explodes.
Boom.
Greff turns around to the rest of the crew and like, it was a while on the boat. How much did they know about what we know? Like, we were trying to get here to talk to some leaders. Did they just know Adnilov was going to be here? Period?
I don't know what they know, Greff.
Oh, boy.
Everything that you learned from Arliss would be new information, give or take.
I'm going to have to interrupt this.
And Adnilov's offer to have the assemblies work together to help overthrow Kells and the Blissful Eclipse, that is also new news for them.
Yeah, I can't wait. Shit, I shouldn't have been playing in the treehouse all day. Greff's just gonna stand straight and knock on the door. Bang, bang, bang.
Run. I changed my mind. You can't be here.
You hear like all the conversation go very quiet. You hear like the scraping of a couple of chairs, and you hear a lot of people say, no, I've got it. No, I've got it. Sorry, I've got it, sort of thing. In multiple languages. Eventually the door kind of like opens and Helsif is standing in front of you.
Oh, shit.
She looks a little confused. She looks back and you sort of see Apella like leaning around like her chair to look at you. And she says, yep. Yeah, I can translate, no problem. Yeah, man.
Thank you. Greff.
What do you want?
Greff does a little like courteous, like show of recognition to Helsif, and then he comes to Apella, and I'm imagining the humans just do like a normal bow.
Yes.
What would be a normal show of respect towards Apella? Getting to the point?
A salute.
Yeah, getting to a salute. No, a bow, but getting to the point.
Yeah.
You've met Apella at least once,
yeah,
and you know she's not one for the curtsies or the ranks. She wants to get straight to it, but you also recognise that she does a little bit more fancier than she did before.
Yeah,
it's probably been about 8 years since you last saw her.
Jesus.
She definitely has more scars. She definitely looks a little bit more battle worn. She is trying to look fancier because you can tell at this table everyone is someone of import. So as the three of you enter this room, you would recognize, I'm going to say that we, as the audience, are going to know who these people are, so I'm not going to go over this. You would recognize Apella. You would recognize Rowena, who is no longer queen of the dwarves, but she is their emissary traveling across. You would recognize Kythea. We would recognize Grumsh, not Demi, Grumsh, although still feminine. You would recognize Baracus very easily. You'd recognize Red Knight, who is with him. You would obviously recognize Helsif, who is here. And Greff, you would also recognize Daisy.
Yes. So Greff's trying to do his best to do good impressions. So he's not going to call out Daisy right away.
She was like one of your younger sisters. She still looks really young, like a late teenager, early 20s, if that, hardly that at all. And she's wearing some very fine robes, and her body, like one side of her body has a couple of runes on it. She's clearly quite a powerful magic user at this point.
So when Greff enters, he shows a sign of respect towards Helsif. When he gets in, he's going to do whatever is the normal like courtesy towards Baracus. And then he moves on to Apella. This is a little bit of a Greff showing like I like multicultural here. Like I'm not just some farmer bumpkin like who just wandered in here. Like I've been around, guys. And Empress Apella. Hello, and it looks over at Daisy. Hi, Daisy.
Wait.
We'll get to it.
Oh, Mama's going to be pissed.
That was in character. There's a little chuckle in the background.
Hello, I'm Greff. These are my companions, Wox and Ivoris. We are here to represent the initiative and Atnolov.
Nope.
Ah, fuck!
The other one.
The
Assembly.
What is
Wrong
the other
faction.
one?
The Assembly.
Assembly, yeah. We're here to represent the Assembly and Atnolov. And I'm here to relay information on their behalf. Yeah.
Who? At that point, as like Apella kind of looks a little confused about who you are, she has a recognition maybe of who you might be. Brackus is scratching away, and you hear Red Knight say, "All right, you. These guys are very much instrumental in the reason that we all got out here, that we actually made it here at all. And Ednalov, she's the one that's. You say she's in charge of the assembly now?
No. We're just representing her. She is part of the assembly. a high-ranking member, I would assume.
She's trying to take it over with Arliss's help.
Yes, she's intending to put some order and structure to their more guerrilla-like warfare and to aim them at a specific target instead of simply existing for the existence sake of knowledge. Existence sake of resistance. With information from Arliss and Adnolov, we have come to know that the Assembly knows of the location of where the gods are being executed. It is a place called the Mouth of Clarity.
You see a lot of people around the table just suddenly tense up. Daisy says, "All right, how can you be sure about that?"
Because...
How sure?
I would trust Adnolov with my life. Twice over. She has never strayed me wrong or done me wrong. And even when I was being... not completely... When she found out I was not being completely honest with her, her first instinct was to murder me. To take care of me as a loose end. She is nothing but thorough and smart. And she gave me another chance, and I do believe that I am now displaying why that was a good decision.
Sounds like an interesting woman. I'd like to meet her.
Well,
the dwarf says from the back of the room.
Hopefully you will. In the future, once they have the assembly more focused and ready to be actually aimed at something. We're here because we've been working within the Kino Initiative Task Force towards the... Well, more recently we've been working it towards the betterment of all of Discora.
At this point, Brachus wraps his knuckles on the table and nods, and the others seem to understand that's like his strong endorsement or agreement.
We found out that I'm assuming everybody here knows about the webs of creation and the killing of the gods.
The kind of half-orc female that sits opposite you, she says, yeah, we seem to be pretty well aware of what is going to be happening with this. Yeah.
They built the webs of creation using things called these alchemist stones.
Alchemist stone? Yep. Probably had a couple of those. Made a couple of those actually too myself.
Yeah, we apprehended, as far as we know, all stones that the initiative had. All the stones that Kels had. Kels had 2 stones. One of them was stolen by an alchemist.
You see the purple tiefling like raise her hand.
3 stones. No, wait, 2 stones. No, 3 stones. They had 3 stones. You, sorry. So yeah, that's she fits the description. She kind of looks like it. I think that's the sister of what's his face? Old Broken Horn.
Wait, are you the guy who broke my brother's horn?
There's like a smile, and then he pulls it back down. Yes, I got into an altercation with your brother.
Okay. That explains that. He was very shady about the how and the why.
Can you confirm something for me? Was he going to get me killed and Adolf saved my life?
I don't know. I actually don't know much about it, except he came home one day with a broken horn and he really didn't want to talk about it.
I've always had my suspicions, but I guess I'll just have to ask her. She stole one of the rocks. One of the rocks was stolen by an alchemist who was intending to use it to give life to a machine. It was a whole ordeal, but we sent them on their way across the ocean. They should be in Discora by now. Bikron. Sorry, the word I was looking for was Bikron.
No, wait,
earlier.
on Bikron.
Yes.
Bikron is the world, Discora is the continent.
Yeah, earlier I said for the safety of Discora when I meant to say the safety of the Bikron.
Yeah.
The third one was being guarded by a cleric of the Blissful Eclipse. We stole it from him. So as
you see them all looking around the table, a little bit incredulous. They hadn't heard anything about this, but they're like, "All right, pal."
Who has the stone? Azed, right?
Azed's taking it to Mama Greff. Taking it to Apella, I believe.
Yeah. There should be. We gave the stone to a goblin friend of mine named. Greff smiles to himself when he said friend, and she's like, "Yeah, okay."
Damn it.
Goblin friend of ours named Azed. He was supposed to give it to Apella. I have no idea where that went, or if I have now just outed that Apella is sitting around with it in her pocket. Either way, it is part of my story.
No, it's not here, mate. Don't worry about it. It's probably much safer that none of us know where they are. They're just not in the hands of Kales and the Blissful Eclipse.
Yeah, so
probably a good move there.
That was. We were working for the initiative for the longest time. Ivoris was. We were just doing jobs, but we saw the writing on the wall. We saw the blood of the gods. And we decided it wasn't the right thing. We decided to actually take stands.
Yeah, I mentioned something about where the gods are dying.
Yeah, the chasm of clarity? Cave of clarity? The mouth of clarity. Oh, I see what you're doing.
What?
Mouth of madness, mouth of clarity.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool.
Mouth of clarity. I've never heard of that. You? Or at least the other you? You see like the half-orc woman shrug and she says, I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of familiar. Wait a minute. There are tales that that's a really old place of where kind of some wild magic users will be going to seek more clarity about how to control their powers and what may or may not be there. But it's generally considered quite a dangerous place and nobody really knows where it is. At least that's the last that I remember.
Hey, V.
Yeah.
Can I ask one of the two voices in my head if they know where it is?
Yeah.
I thought we knew where it is.
Fairly quickly, you get a response back. And the traveler says,
In that place was lost to us gods many, many millennia ago. We do not know its location. It is for mortals like yourself.
Gotcha.
However, there are rumors that it is at an island south of Kino.
Oh, wait, Alice told us that.
Yep.
Okay, then in that case, assuming that this has all been translated around the table and Vox isn't just standing there confused as fuck, Vox will...
As you're here, you all begin to feel yourselves being affected by the spell that is affecting this room, and you're very easily able to understand and you don't have to translate. It doesn't have to be translated. It's just a slow, subtle effect that begins to affect all of you.
Gotcha. I don't know if it really helps or not, but a few tidbits info is one, the gods don't totally know. Apparently, it's kind of got lost to them. And two, apparently there's a whole rumor, and Source told us that it was on an island to the south of Kino. I could show you on a map.
Right. Ivoris, Alice was talking about that, right?
Yeah, it was kind of vague, but I just had one of my friends confirm it for me.
Helsif stalks away to the back of the room. She goes through a couple of cabinets and she pulls out a really old map of what she understands, what they understand the world to be. You see a couple of islands along the Olgathals, which seems to be the most mapped out, a rough shape of Discora and a few towns marked on, and pretty much a similar setup with Kino, with a few major towns written on. But you do see a couple of islands to the south of that too. You see one that roughly matches Alice's description. You see one that has a volcano and is very close to it is a lake.
Vox will just point to that and be like, that one right there as far as I've been told.
You see the kind of very big half-orcish woman leaning over and taking a keen interest in that, and then she kind of shrugs and like sits back again. All right, well, thank you for that information. Is there anything else you need to let us know?
That there isn't that much of a difference between Kino and Discora. It's all just full of people.
You see Baracus like waving and tapping, and he begins to write something out. When he finishes, Red Knight picks up the note, and Red Knight, they say, I've come to that conclusion as well. We all seem to want what's best, but nobody can seem to agree exactly what the best is. But it's not being destroyed by the blissful eclipse. We're going to try and write a new treaty, but it's probably going to take a long time. A new way of communicating, a new way of being. But old habits, old prejudices, they're pretty hard to overcome. But I'll try and write something. We can all figure out the great leaders here. Your son and she, and Red Knight, they gesture at Rowena. I'm sure that we'll all come to an agreement one day.
There is one other thing that we came here specifically to do. We as a group are weirdly efficient at doing some very crazy shit and somehow not dying thus far, except for the one incident that they had with the previous person, but we don't talk about that.
You see that Baracus knocks again and smiles like that's his acknowledgement of truth.
The only thing is none of us in this group are really quite as skilled in tactics and leadership and stuff quite as everybody here. So we came here also because we figure if anybody is going to be able to tell us where our skills can be best be applied, it would be the group of yous.
You see them all look around and they kind of like their eyes flicker over towards Apella, and she shrugs and she looks back at you and she says, well, was it you were part of the initiative, like small team?
Yes, we were Kino Initiative Task Force 10.
Well, from what I understand from Baracus talking about Adanlov, she had teams that went out and did stuff, small strike teams, roughly your size, if not a little bit bigger. I'll bear that in mind. I'll figure out what to do with you. If you just need direction, I can give you direction. I'm assuming, however, that you're probably better suited for Kino, although how you got to be here, and she, like, gestures at Greff. We'll have to figure that one out. I mean, I didn't sign no bloody treaty, so I don't care, but you pissed a lot of people off, mate.
There's suppressed smile.
And you hear Daisy at the side, like, you piss off bloody mama too. Just like really quietly under her breath.
There's a suppressed smile when she says, I didn't sign no treaty, as Greff feels vindicated in his previous way of thinking, like, yeah, right? It's nothing to do with me, does it? Whatever.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Like grumble. I'll assume you're probably better suited for Kino work than not. Let me think on it. We have some other things we're discussing. Do you know anything about a place called Wale?
Do I know anything about?
I recognize.
Yep. Arla's told you that's where a bunch of the kind of like holy related people are being held underneath in the mountains,
Up
kind
north,
of near
yeah.
where the Goliath are.
Yep,
And the giants.
I distinctly recall our source telling us about it, that there's like a bunch of holy people being kept there or something.
Yeah, they're like prep
Baracus again,
sacrifice.
Baracus again nods and like taps the table. And Red Knight says, we heard about that when we were fleeing, so we're just figuring out how best to approach that. How much do you want to know? Or would you rather be just told where to go?
Information is always important. I've learned my lesson from blindly following orders.
You see Rowena shrug and she says, I don't know what you know about home what information you may not have got. There was almost an out-and-out war between the elves and the dwarves back home. The dusk almost split in two. Most of the dwarven army are waking their way across Orcath. They'll be here in a few days. We're thinking about best taking them up to Wally and getting those people out, one way or another, removing that resource from girls, from the blissful eclipse. But if I understand it, and she points at the map in two different places, Wally is up here in the north, and your islands were down south. We can't do both. We don't have enough. There are a bunch of other things that need to get done too. I'll tell you what. What resources have you got? What have you got to hand? I mean, clearly you made it here. Clearly you done a whole bunch of stupid shit from what Baracus is telling us.
We are... I don't know what to tell you. Powerful.
Are you wanting like a breakdown, like of what we're capable of, sort of thing, like an inventory, I guess, or I guess a skill assessment or something like that?
Tell me how you dealt with this cleric, the Blissful Eclipse. How did you defeat him? How did you deal with that? How did you get the stone away from him?
Oh boy, that was a story to tell. Let me tell you.
How about you give me the Cliff Notes version, 3 sentences or less? Don't need to hear your life story, just need it quick and simple, to the point.
We blew up both the houses we knew the rock wasn't in. As the forces were disrupted, we rushed in. When we encountered the cleric, he was far too powerful for us, so we we used subversive magic to obtain the stone and moved away.
Ivoris's ears are kind of almost folding
magic.
down.
We did the tried and true method of fighting to run the fuck away. I heard that in a book somewhere, I think.
Tactical retreat.
It's hit or miss, but sometimes I can see the future stuff from Savras.
You can... Alright, so futures, psychics, check.
Kel was just attacked at the capital, but she gets away.
Yeah.
Or she got away. Now,
I'm a druid and I could talk to two gods.
Yeah, and you see that Apella points over at Demi and then over at Red Knight, like, yep, no. Yep. Alright,
I'm a human and I have two swords.
I can mind control people. I have powerful nature magic. Swords.
If this was an audio podcast, you would hear Daisy facepalm. You just see her facepalm, like, oh my god.
No.
My brother is so embarrassing.
You may see a human with a sword, but have you ever seen a human with two swords?
And Helsif, you actually finally understand her as she says, yeah, I trained you that way.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Idiot.
Trained you like that, you fucking
idiot. Apella says, all right, so you've got running away, got a man with 2 swords, and you got some magics. All right, well, you've not been mostly detected. I mean, you've done stuff. Brachus vouches for you. 2 gods. All right. There's also another place. A couple of different options. There's a place up north in the... Shit, what's it called?
Yoli.
Yeta?
Shit, what is it?
Gita.
Nope. No, not Gita. I haven't even heard of that place. No, I don't know. I know, some people are going, mention Gita, like Demi's ears prick up. There's another thing. We're trying to awaken something great and powerful.
What?
Potentially an ally over in the Humming Forest, but, well...
Are you talking about Telrath?
Probably not. No, the Humming Forest.
What the fuck is that?
Where the fuck is Telrath?
Nothing.
It's not on the map, pal. Not on the map. but you see her like gesture to a point on the map. It is in, for those of you who are watching the map,
Yes.
you see like the kind of like the forest green area that goes around that northern mountain range.
North of the capital.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the humming forest is north of that mountain range.
Love
in that forest.
Okay.
What is it that you're awakening exactly, might I ask?
Daisy kind of like puts her hand up and she says, so I travel around a little bit in different planes and stuff, and there's a great magical presence there. It feels ancient, like really old, and it's just slumbering. That's not even the right word. It's waiting to be born, I think, is probably the best way of putting it.
And whatever that is going to help us out of
It might.
its own interest?
All I can tell you is that it's old, but it's not as old as the world. It's younger than the Great Magical Rift, and it's waiting to be born. I don't think it means us harm.
It's not another dragon, is
The
it?
worst we can. I don't know, mate. My mama told me that dragons grow on trees, so. And she kind of shrugs.
As somebody with a strong affinity for trees, I'm gonna have to go with no on that part.
Speak for yourself.
Mama told us a lot of stories. It could be. It might be. I don't know.
Voices in my head. I don't suppose you know what the fuck this thing is.
They have no knowledge of what this is at all.
Fuck.
Yeah, so we're just... I need to think on what your best use is and what everything else's best use is, to be honest. I need to think on it, all right. Look, it's nearly midnight, folks. How about we just... I looked at my watch. 1, I don't have one, and 2, nor would a Pella. Look, moon's almost at its zenith. How about we just call it a night and start again tomorrow? All right. I'm sure some of you need to get your rest. Some of you need to pop back home for a bit. And she gestures over at Demi and Kythea. How about you just... We'll meet again in the morning. Let me get my head around this. Figure out how many we got of everything and everywhere. Fuck me. And with that, the crowd disperses. You folks can also disperse and do whatever you want. But whatever you guys want to do, we will hold on to until the beginning of next episode. So please write down what you need to do.
Okay.
So that I can figure out what the fuck to do with you when we start the next episode so you don't forget.
Okay.
All right. Tauri, my beautiful Tauri.
Hello.
Hi. So, it's getting pretty late, and Zarissa takes her siblings kind of like by the ear as they're refusing to go to bed, and she kind of like grabs their shoulders and takes them forward, and she offers for you to come with her so that you can not bed down and in with everyone else, since the kits are already set up in her home. The kits settle down eventually. The 2 tiefling elders, they settle down eventually. It's all raucous and lots of noise, and there's lots of tea drinking and like, hey, here's chamomile tea, shut up and go to sleep. You've forgotten how loud they were. But eventually they do settle down, and they do settle down sort of in front of the fireplace. It's the only place they would go to sleep. They wouldn't go back to their beds. They just refuse to be anywhere but at your side. And Zarissa gives up with her too and lets them stay. The pair of you are sitting quietly at a table, just sharing drinks, talking quietly. The shadows are getting pretty low as the fire is beginning to go out. And you see Zarissa occasionally raise her hand, and she adds a little bit more fuel to the fire with her magic. In that moment, you see Ortrub, jump up onto the table. Sorry, jump up onto the chair, then jump up onto the table. And you see him sit back on his haunches, lift his arms a little bit in front of him, and his ears begin to twitch. And he says,
So, I've been listening to a very interesting conversation just now.
Have you been listening to us this whole time?
So silly, not you two and the kids and the children. No. I've been listening to your other friends.
And, anything interesting?
Uh-huh. So, I know where Sarissa's going. And I know where you're going.
Me?
Mm-hmm. Me. Uh-huh. I know where you're going. I know where you, my lovely Tauri, should say that you have to go. You see, your friends and the very people who think they're very important in this world, they were talking about dragons.
More dragons?
Mm-hmm. But this one sounds either very old or very young, but they have yet to hatch and wreak havoc upon this world. I think this is where we should be going. They want to wake up some sort of dragon power or essence or god or something. This would be the greatest prey for us.
The people I've been traveling with want to wake that consciousness or whatever you said it's called up. The being?
No, silly. Their friends talked about it. The ones who lead this island and all the lands around here.
The people that have been gathering, they want to wake that up.
Yes, they think it might be a great ally. We should make it not an ally. Or, if we can control it, if we can make it think of us as its mama and papa. Or, we can just be its executioner.
No offense, Ottrup. I know you want to slay a dragon, but if the people that are gathered here want to wake that consciousness up to try and help save this everything, then we cannot just destroy it. And that aside, that we are definitely, I am not cut out to destroy something as powerful as that.
Not straight away. I mean, if it saves our world, then we're all safe. But when that threat is gone, it no longer needs to be here.
So you think that we should destroy it after it saved us? It helped us, help them save everything here.
Uh-huh. And if it is as dark and against our world as I know all dragons to secretly be, we destroy it before it can reach its true power. Or we wait until after.
I do agree that if it is, it has dark intentions and it will just become the next threat to this world after this threat is taken care of, then it definitely needs to be destroyed. That I can agree upon.
So you'll go?
Go now? And you... what...
I'm sure you have to wait for a boat or something. I'm not so unkind as you can't spend time with your kids for a little while.
So, just to understand you correctly, you plan, like, you think that we should get to this creature and make it our subordinate so it will do our bidding?
Mm-hmm. And if it's not good, then we kill it where it stands. And if it is good, we wait until afterwards. I mean, because eventually it will turn wrong anyway.
That sounds like probably a good plan to definitely get it on our side before it gets any other ideas, and see what its alignments are before we even think of destroying it.
I'll tell you what. You have the moral quandary, and I will just persuade you on the way to my line of thinking. I don't want to
Sure.
see my children dead either. And if it can help that not dying, then fine, it lives. For now.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay, I will leave you alone, and I will come find you in a couple of days. I'm not a complete demon monster, you know. You enjoy your time with your little ones.
Thank
I
you.
will go enjoy time with mine.
You are definitely not a bad monster, and you have helped me a lot in this travels. I mean, you even sent out, I guess you called them spores, to watch over my children while they were here. So
Because
I understand where you are coming from.
Good. You have helped me see far and wide in this world, and I know that you will help me seek justice against the dragons when the time comes. I will turn you into a true dragon slayer.
She gives Ottrop a little head rub.
He does not seem best pleased. And 1 second he is there, and the next second your hand goes completely through him onto the table
no.
as he disappears. In the morning, through various means happenstance, the four of you plus Zarissa, Daisy will be around too. She probably wants to annoy her bigger brother. You'll find yourselves meeting up with Tauri.
Did she call us together, or are we just happening to meet up for
just
cold
happenstance,
stew?
you all happen to...
having breakfast or whatever.
Yeah, you have breakfast. You kind of just happenstance, like bump into each other about roughly the same time.
Greff, can I talk to you for a moment? And Vox and Ivoris too?
Of course. I'm sorry
worry,
we didn't
we'll
include
leave
you
you
in
be.
the meeting thing last night. Kind of had to happen.
Honestly, I didn't even notice that you were leaving. I was so engrossed with playing with my kids at the time.
Well, I mean, it's what you were looking for, so good on you.
Yeah. I think I need to leave you for a while. I have something I need to take care of.
Don't say no more. We understand. You need to stay with your kids. I was prepared for this eventuality when we saw them yesterday. It's understandable.
It's not quite that. I need to... Ottrop needs me to do something. I'm not sure how much of it I can tell you right now, but it's definitely something that might or might not affect what you are doing in the future.
As long as it doesn't fuck us over.
I will try. I know where you are heading with your quest. Neil. What's happening?
What are you giggling about?
Neil started giggling. It's completely threw Cassie off, and that's funny.
Okay, all right.
I know where you are going with your roughly what the goals are at the end of your journey, and I will try not to put any obstacles in your way in what I am doing.
That's not the answer I was looking for, but okay.
You know how my demon bunny is.
That's why I said it.
I'm sure you've heard him. I'm sure you've heard him a few times. I will try to keep him in line, but this is something he wants me to take care of, and I need to take care of this right now for a while.
Tauri,
My kids will be staying here. Yes.
You owe this bunny thing something, and it's calling its debt.
Yes.
Greff's gonna stand up, and he puts out his hand at Tauri. I understand. I respect it, but I pray that you don't show up as our enemy in the future.
I do hope so as well. I am working for the greater good so that my kids can have a world to live in. And I know that you, this group, and the people involved in the meeting yesterday are all working towards the same goal. And I am definitely not planning on letting anything get in the way of that goal.
Greff puts down his hand and he just hugs you.
Aww. Tori is a little bit awkward, but then she hugs him back because she did not expect it.
Fine. I understand we sometimes have to do things we don't want to do. Just stay safe. It's not safe out there right now.
I understand. I know the things we've been through on this travel. I know there are some very bad things happening right now, and I know that I'm probably not the most equipped for dealing with those things, but I will...
Greff looks at your spoon.
I mean, I have... Hey, my spoon has an upgrade, okay?
I've never been on the wrong end of that spoon, so I can't tell how dangerous it is, but I wish you would get a proper weapon.
My kids would beg to differ and say that it is a proper weapon.
A weapon of terror, but not an instrument of destruction. See, we'll quibble over the exacts of the specificities.
At least turn it into a spork or something. Give it some stabbing capabilities.
Spithe, something with cutting edge on it.
The one end's got the blade, the other end's the spork.
Yep.
Spoon chaku.
If, when you're done, you're done. You're done. You're done with all of this and you just want to go home. We all respect that.
Yeah.
But we can always use another strong, capable fighter in our teams.
I understand that, but as far as I have seen, I'm not the best fighter right now, and I need to get stronger before I can even begin to be helpful for you and your group. And that is also part of why I need to leave, because...
You're one level higher than us.
You what? What did you
You're
say?
one level higher than us.
But I have a lot of skills in hunting and survival skills, but I don't have not many experiences in a fight. I am not as useful to you as you might think. And I think I need to work with Ottrip a little to get to a place where I will be useful in a fight and be able to contribute something to your group in a fight.
Well, good luck. And thanks for the help with all the Auntie stuff. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for, I suppose, showing me that not all UNT are bad people.
Just...
Some of them are outright fantastic. And Greff pushes on Ivoris a little bit.
Just the cult is not, so be wary. But, good luck.
Thank you. I will be. I suppose next time I see a UNT, I will maybe stop and talk to them before I pull out my spoon.
Should probably avoid them. But, yeah.
With that, as y'all are assembled, you hear a Pella calling out to all of you, and she gestures you all to come. Can I have all four of you please roll a perception check?
Oh, wait, I'm good at those. What am I going out for?
17.
Never mind, I got that one.
Oh, damn.
19.
Thanks, roll 20.
Greff doing his happy dance. Damn it, Greff is doing his happy dance. everybody who got above a 15, as Apella is like calling you in, you just notice on one of the windowsills, like there is like a fairly large brown rat. But it very quickly like scuttles away as all of you come in. Nobody else seems to have noticed it. For those of you who are slightly magically inclined, damn it, the one person who would really know didn't see shit. So those of you who are slightly magically inclined, in this case Ivoris, you get that twinge of like there's something magical about this rat as it scuttles into the room and away. And that's where I'll leave this.
Hello everyone, Ivoris here. Thank you for listening. Good to see you. I would like to give special thanks to Library Cat for the name Callan, and Chaos Brain Kathy and Aethor for the name Nuta. Without our Patreon support, this campaign would not exist, so thank you all so much for your support on Patreon. If you would like to get these episodes earlier than everyone else, you could get 2-month early access by going and supporting us on Patreon, as well as a bunch of other rewards like submitting names for the name pool and such. So thank you all so much for listening. If you would like to support our show, please go over to patreon.com/tldpod. Everything that you give helps us to produce the show and helps us do other special things such as this campaign. So thank you to everyone who's already a supporter of us on Patreon. Thank you all so very much, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.